Hello and welcome to the Nexus. We're doing the final issue of our Tumbler, so let's get going. Okay, so there's we're just literally putting the roof on. We need this. There's a few other bits that we get. We get the antennas, or the aerials, I should say, for the flaps. They're quite easy to go on, and we'll do that first. And we're also wiring up the roof as well. Now, looking through this, we could have done the roof section when we received this part. This part right here. So this part right here we got in issue 90, and we could have actually put it in then. So yeah. We also get some stand bits. We've also got to take some bits out. We've also we may have to snap a bit off. Now that sounds really bizarre, but yeah, and I can prove it because I can just, whereabouts is that? There we go. So when we put this in, and we'll come up to that bit there. So when we put that bit in, it says there that if this bit is overhanging, we are to snap it off and make this section here bigger by sticking in a flathead screwdriver and making the gap bigger and snapping bits off, as you can see there. So I don't know why they've why that is what it is. We also get some blocks. So when we come to fitting it, I will show you all this as well. So there it is there on the turntable that we got, and there it is on the blocks. So effectively you can have it either way, just either way you like. And to prove that it is the last one, there we go, the finished model. We do not get any more issues after this. It is the end. Just before we go and do the car as well, I just want to point out that it has a sort of checklist in here. So it says the first one is about Batmobiles. So every issue that we've got, and it features or references a Batmobile. It's all here. And this side from here is Batman's history, and it tells us what issue we need to look at if we want to know about Batman's history, and what issue we need to look at about which Batmobile as well, which is quite interesting. I've never seen them do an index like this. It is in that issue. So okay, let's stop the rabbiting. We're going to take this part, we're going to fit it onto the car. Fingers crossed everything works, and if not, it is what it is. But anyway, I'm hoping that everything works. So without further ado, let's get this done and dusted and finished. Let's go. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is this roof section here. And don't worry, there's a cat down there. Right, so we've got to concentrate on this part back here. So firstly, what we're going to do is we're going to remove this panel here, making sure you keep hold of the screws. Why we'll have to stick this back as well, so yeah, like I said, you have to make sure you keep these screws. There's one, there's one, and here comes the other one. And like I said, now we've got in this bit here, I'm just going to see if I can zoom up now, like that. So it says, just gonna, okay, so you see this little tab section down here. Let me have a little look, see if I can really show you. Yeah, that tab section has got to be broken off. I don't know why, but that's what it's telling me to do. but I'm not going to do that. So what we've got to do is make sure this is working. So that's like that, and then this is going to slide in like that. Yeah, we need to push it down like that. Apparently, what I'm going to do is actually turn it on. Now on the diagram it says to push it. Now it's really jammed now, so it will move once it's all sort of wired up. So what I'm going to do now is wire everything up. So that's what I'm going to do here. Making sure as well you pull the window screen all the way to the bottom like I already did, and then connect up all the wires. So I'm going to do that now. Full transparency, it doesn't work. I've chopped away this interior section here and I've made it bigger just by pulling it apart like it says in the magazine. Here is the part, and I think it's the limiter switch which is the problem. And I think that's the whole problem of this whole thing here, is all these limiter switches. So yeah, I'm almost certain it's the limiter switch. So I'm going to turn it on. You can hear it motoring up. I'm going to put this in, which is what it says to do. Not on, Bob, obviously. It does say yeah, you should hear the section moving like that, and it should be in that position. Hang on a second, like that. Can you hear that? Okay, and you put this down. Now it says to do it while it's off. So what we're going to do is, I've got it out a few times because it got stuck. So it says to push this down until you hear it click. So there's like a little click there. Like so. And then you turn it on. Now that's where it stops, and well, there's a few things wrong with this. Firstly, that is now too low to attach to this section here, which has got to attach onto there. So it's too low now to attach to that. And I've got the cockpit thing here, so I can push this, and yep, nothing, and I mean absolutely nothing, is moving. Not a thing. Hang on a second, let me pan out. So it should go up and down. It doesn't do that. So yep, complete and utter failure right at the very end. I have tried troubleshooting this. The only thing I can think of, it's the limiter switch, which is in this section here, and to get that out, I'm not even going to attempt to get that out. That is absolutely a no-no. But all the other lights work. All the lights work. We've got the spotlights, even the ailerons, the spoilers. Even work. Just the roof don't. Yeah, what an absolute shame. Okay, also it says that this motor should not be running when it's off. It should only run when we push the cockpit. It also says now you can hold it if it gets too low, so we're going to try that. So there it goes. So just push it down a little bit. It says also at the same time this should be moving, which it's not. And that just continues to retract. It doesn't even stop. Even at that point you can tell it's trying to, but yep, I've swapped wires around. I've done absolutely nothing's working. Okay, so all I'm going to do is use the double-sided tape to tape all these up like so. But for the now, I'm going to just pull the head thing down like that, pull it up, put all these wires so they're all sort of stuck down. There we go. Oh, there we go. Hang on. There we go. It's all sort of secured now. As you can see, headlights work perfect. And oh, the little wipers come out. And all I've got to say is, yep, I'm absolutely devastated it didn't work. But I sort of knew it was never going to work. Just the complicated nature of it. I'm almost certain that someone in the community will get theirs working. But I have not been able to. And without taking it apart, which is, I'm just not, I ain't going to do that. We can also see, I can do this now, so we can push left, push right, and sorry, right is, no, that's left, and that's right. We can also see the headlights, they all work, and the spotlights, which are there, they work. The booster, yeah. So apart from that, everything on this, cannons, spoilers, and the interior. So let's have a look at the interior. So it's easy to pull this up now as well. So if we stick the dashboard lights on, as you can see, everything is lit up in here. And then this goes down like that. And it sort of clicks in a lot better than I think the roof would ever work, actually, to be fair. Okay, so we're going to do the little antennas on the ends of our ailerons there. And let's salvage what it has been. So we get these ones, which are the long ones, so they're going to go on the bigger ones here. Then we get the medium sized ones, they're going on the back, and then the smaller ones are going to go on the front here. So I'm going to do the smaller one first and show you what to do. So you get one for each side. So this is that one here, and the antenna goes backwards. Now this one here is broke, but it sort of goes in and sort of goes backwards like that. Then we got our bigger ones. So these are our big ones here. So I'm just going to just cut these off quickly. And you've got one for each side, obviously. So this one is going to go in here. Can you see that? Now it does supply some double-sided tape, but you don't actually need it. So there's that one there. And then this one is going to go to the back one, and then we're just going to do the other side, finishing off a little detail. Now I am a little bit upset about it not working, but it's not a biggie. I don't know how often. So as you can see here, there's a little hole in the side, and they just basically stick into the side there. That one isn't going as much. I don't know why. Maybe it's not. I don't know. But that sort of goes in. There we go, like that. So they sort of sit like this. I'm going to go and do the other side now the same way. So I'm just going to cut my spurs off, making sure you keep. So that's the back one. That's the front one, that's the smaller one. And then the middle one is our big one. So I'm going to do that now. Okay, so there you go. You can see that there, those three. And then if I spin it round, it's got those three on there like that. We could probably test out the spoilers now. There we go. And that. So yeah, like I said, you do get these blocks in it as well, and I'll show you the blocks that we get. I don't need the screw because that doesn't work. Okay, so we get these blocks, but I'm going to leave it on this turntable really. So you get 4 of them because I think the turntable is a nice feature for it. But yeah, absolute. Well, what can I say? It works to an extent, but is the roof really that sort of? Is it really essential? I don't know. Let us know in the comments anyway. I'm going to do a showcase on this anyway, so stay tuned because the showcase is going to come up in just a minute after I've rabbited on. But we'll have a look around on how well it's come off, and it has come off really well, I've got to say, despite the roof not working. Okay, so yeah, what else to say about it? Well, it all works except the roof. So we've got the front headlights there, as you can see, spotlights. Then we've got the left, I think this is right, and that's left, and they work perfect, but I don't really want to muck about with them too much. Cannons. We'll turn it round and we'll do the ailerons, which are here, or the spoilers. There isn't much movement obviously in these ones, but we knew that. And as you can see, the booster there is working, so let me pull the camera right down. So let me push the booster, and it's got a nice effect to it. And I'm going to come down here so you just can you see that. Looks really cool. And then if we spin it round again, we can stop it here for a second. And then what I will do is take the roof section off so I can show you the interior. So now the roof doesn't actually work, but we can pull it back. So I'm going to just sit it like that for now. And we can put on the dashboard lights. Turn the lights off so you can see them. So I'm going to spin it round. Hang on a second, so we can get a nice view of it in the inside. So there we go. And it's all lit up. It's looking, apart from the there you go, the dashboard lights, they work. So apart from the roof mechanism, it's not too bad. It actually pretty much works like it's supposed to. What we'll do is I'll just position it there, and then position this bit so it goes like that. And then what we'll do is I'll just, there we go, like so. But yeah, so apart from the disastrous part of this, but I mean, you can just see how nice this looks with, I mean, let me turn the lights off again. I mean, even with all the lights on, it still looks, and obviously you can see into it. There's a huge gap here. Even if the roof didn't work, you can see right straight through there. And obviously the booster there is working. I mean, ultimately I built this for Kirsty because that's what she wanted.
Yeah.
And you like it?
Yeah. I don't need the roof to move anyway with what I want to do with it.
No, that's true. You know, we did explain this on me and Mark's video. So if you don't know, me and Mark do a Partwork live chat every Sunday at 7 o'clock, so make sure you join us. But we did say something along the lines of, well, actually go and watch the video, it was a couple of weeks ago. We test all these lights and the mechanism would work and be brilliant, and then it would sit on a shelf or on a display unit and never to be touched again.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many Partworks I've built over the years, and we've tested the lights and that. We've had a little bit of play around, and then we've never ever touched it ever again. So apart from that, it's just a little bit of a disappointment, but it works absolutely perfect apart from this. But that's it. So yeah, and there we are. What can I say? There's not much more I can say about that, other than I hope you guys have better luck with sort of troubleshooting than I did. I spent a good 2.5 hours. I even spent probably a bit longer than that. I'm absolutely sweating, trying to, as you can see, trying to sort of sort that. Now, I did get a PK meter, and I did go around checking all the connections, and they've all got power going to them. So everything works. So we're not entirely sure. The only thing I can think of is it's to do with the that center bar that we have to put in, and the sort of circuit, sort of breaker switches. The limiter switches, I should say. Now, there is 2 within that center column, and I'm almost certain that is where the problem lies. Now, the problem is, to get to that center column, I would have to dismantle the whole car because it's obviously screwed in from underneath. So I'd have to actually take the whole car apart before I can get and take apart the interior, which then leads to the center column. I posted a message on the Facebook groups trying to see if anybody else could troubleshoot it, and it looks like a few people have had the same issue I have. Now, I have said it in the video, and I'm going to say it again now, is I believe some people are going to get this and it's going to work for the first time, it's going to work brilliantly, and other people, like myself, are going to have trouble. It's just a bit disappointing. We're right near the end. I think that roof mechanism, we should have been... We tested all the stuff and it all seemed to work, but I think we should have been testing that mechanism as we built it and continue to test it, but we were never told to. The bit that we've done today, once again, we could have done when we received that bar in issue 90, because we could have stuck it in the back before and tested it long before, so we knew that it worked, but we never knew because we were told not to do that. And on the very last issue, it hasn't worked. Though I do feel a little bit of assurance, because like I said, some other people have heard the same, but also I'm a bit annoyed and a bit angry because it's part of the car. It was sold as that sort of having that gimmick, and it hasn't worked. Though, Kirsty, if you followed the whole build, you would know that I originally built this for Kirsty because she had some ideas on how she was going to display it. So she wanted the Joker and Harley on top, like they've just stolen it, and sort of sitting on the top having a whale of a time. And so I don't think the roof mechanism was ever going to be an issue. Me and Mark, like I've said, we've mentioned many times that we test a lot of this stuff and it works, and then we sort of never really test it again. It goes on the shelf, it's on the display, and it would have been nice for it to work, but we are here at the moment. I'm sure there will be some messages sent to Hachette, and Hachette will respond, and we'll see what happens with all of that. So keep an eye on update videos that I'm going to do. in, like when I do a channel update, I'll give you some updates if anything sort of transpires. Now, getting away from that negativity for a minute, the build itself is actually really, really nice. The car is fully built. It looks immense, right? It looks absolutely awesome. All the other circuits work, so all the lights work, the sound effects, the interior lights, they all work, and they were absolutely lovely. I think if you could get a diorama for this, or you could get it in a display cabinet with some lights, it is going to look so good. Those panel lines, the blackness and the light and the shadowing, it looks really good. The only letdown is that thing. We're not talking about that, but we'll talk about the build as an overall build. It has been hell of a ride, this build. Unlike other car builds, it just wasn't built like that. And we had issues where we were just getting one wire. We had issues where we were just getting little bits here and there. And it's definitely been one of the roller coaster builds that I've ever built. We had, with other builds that I've done, they've been okay, but this one it's definitely had its highs, and it's had its lows as well as a low. But we're concentrating on the good bits. But I think overall the build, the look of the car looks awesome. I'm not going to take that away. That looks really good, right? The car is really good. The look of it, it's just the final execution of it hasn't been. And we've had problems with the ailerons as well, and other little bits that have broken on the car because of it being quite fragile. And the movement of the ailerons. So like I said, there have been some ups. There's been some downs, I should say. There's been some ups as well. Like the amount of die cast and the armor parts all die cast, so that's a really good thing. It feels heavy, it feels chunky. It's been actually a really good build in terms of what we've got, but the end result in terms of things like the ailerons or the spoilers and the roof mechanism have both turned out to be incredibly poor. I'm always going to get asked this, so I'm going to say it now. Would I build it again? No. Would I build it if someone said they couldn't build it? Would I build it for them? I would say no. If Hachette said, would you build it for us? If it was fixed, I would say yes. But I think actually I would say no. It's been one of those builds, and we haven't had one of these builds for a while actually, where I've just gone, well, say in a while. There's been a couple of builds that I've built where I've gone, would I build it again? No, I wouldn't. And if you want a rundown of those builds, it would be the DeLorean. So I originally built the DeLorean for Eagle Moss. That was one of those builds where it was like, would I build again? No. Would I build someone else's if they gave it to me? No. The other build is obviously the Alien. Once again, a bit like the Tumbler, that Alien it looks absolutely gorgeous. It looks perfect. You see it on the back of the video there when I've been working, and it looks a really good piece there. But it was just a horrible build to build. It was just frustrating. There was a lot of glue involved. So would I build that again? No. And the Tumbler has fallen into that category again. It's a good build. It looks good. If you want something that looks good, and it's the Tumbler, and you want something that looks like the Tumbler and presents itself as one, then yes, get the Tumbler. If you're looking for something that's going to operate very well and build very well, I would invest. I would I'm trying to word this right. I would research it beforehand, and then I think if you build this later on, then we're the sort of test guinea pigs for this build. So we're building this before anybody else, so they're going to see our mistakes and then rectify them later on. And they did that with the DeLorean, I've got to say, and they've changed a lot of things, and when people will build it again, they've remembered people like myself that have built it and gone, they had this problem here, I can then sort it. And obviously with the Tumbler, when you're first building these sort of things, we then find those problems out. So yeah, if I had to give it a star rating out of 5, I would give it 2 on build. I would give it 1 on electrics, but overall look, I would give it a 4, because I think the overall look of it looks the part. I mean, if I put this on a coffee table or as you come into the house, it's a talking piece. People are going to sit and go, oh wow, that is amazing, that is really cool. And I don't, if you want that from a build, and sort of I sort of want that sort of wow factor, and that's like awesome. I want people to go, that's really good. And that's the sort of what I want out of a build, really, is for it to be sort of like, for it to be like that. But yeah, I've sort of wrapped it on now. I didn't really want it to be like this for the very last video, but I can only present my experience, and this is my experience. The whole build of this and the videos have been my own experience. I've put my money down on this, and this is where we are. And I would love to sit here and say, oh my god, this is like, oh, I can't believe they're not going to redo this again. I can't believe people have missed out on doing this. It's not one of those builds, I'm afraid, and it's really sad that I've got to this point where I'm like, it's not one of them builds, which is a bit sad in a way. And all I can say is thank you to you, the community, basically. Thank you so much for supporting me along this journey, though it's not the end result that I wanted, and I hope other people that are building this are going to have a better result than I did. And I hope someone, I'm pretty sure someone in the community will troubleshoot it, will come up with a solution that we don't have to take away or take apart the whole car, and it will work. And I'm hoping there's a solution from Hachette as well, and they find this thing and this solution, and it helps us. Maybe they will send out different wires, just like they did with the steering. Maybe they will send out the whole top mechanism so we can get that fixed. I don't know. It's up in the air. But I didn't really want to leave this video like this. But I do want to say thank you so much for following me on this journey. I don't want you also to take this experience as the norm. If you also look around on my other channel videos and stuff that I've completed, it's not always like that. And part works come like this, models come like this as well. You have your ups and your downs. And at the end of the day, as long as it looks good and you're happy, as long as you're happy with the overall build, whatever works or don't work, then that's it. And and Kirsty, we're both happy with how it looks, how it works out. Though it hasn't got what we wanted or hasn't got what it advertised, we're still happy with the end result. And I don't want anybody to take away from this as a sign of this is like all part works. It's not. This is what always happens. It isn't. And something like that. But like I keep coming back and saying, look, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you have a look around the rest of the channel, because I'm building lots of other things. You know, just at the back here, we got RoboCop here. We're coming near to finishing Optimus Prime. That's been a really good solid build. We've also got the Megazord. I've got something here from the Megazord. So we've been building that. We've done the T-Rex head here. We've also building the Batmobile 66 as well on the channel. That's been a really good build. We've also building the Skyline, but less said about that at the moment. But the problems with the Skyline, they are fixing. So that is a huge bonus. we'll just have to see what else comes out. As of right now, I've got nothing that's going to replace the Tumbler on the channel. And I have got my, I suppose now I've got one less. I suppose I should start doing this. I should start doing my train set, and those videos are coming. So if you like train sets and you want to see me struggle at that, then stay tuned. But yeah, I don't want everyone to run off and leave because of this bad experience, or this is the only thing you're building. Like I said, I could be building anything on the channel, so just keep an eye out. And also, thank you so much for all your support. All of your comments have been absolutely breathtaking and out of this world, and I can't thank the community and the Nexus followers really enough. So thank you so much for keeping me sane, and I'm hoping I have kept you sane, and I hope this calms you. And this, even though we always have to look on the bright side of stuff here on the channel, and we just need a little bright side of that. But it is what it is. Hey ho, we are there. And like I'm always going to say, so thank you for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, and hit the thumbs up. And we will see you at the next video. And there will be a next video. But until then, take it easy. Sleep tight. Don't do anything I wouldn't do, which isn't a lot. And we'll see you at the next video, guys. Take it easy. See you later.
Tune into the channel, Nexus is the name. All the hardest content, you'll never be the same. Laughs and thrills, excitement,